Company. Happy Wednesday. Y'all, today is Watcha Cookin Wednesday here at Celebration Company, and we are cooking our dinner in the crock pot today. So I am throwing dinner in the crock pot. We are doing a Mississippi pot roast. I have never made this version of roast before, but Andrew asked for it. And we're thinking kind of Philly cheesesteak a little bit. Whenever we have a Philly cheesesteak sandwich, we love banana peppers on our Philly cheesesteak. And so this Mississippi pot roast just kind of feels right. We have a big giant sirloin here that needed to be cooked. And so I am throwing this in the oven, or not in the oven, in the crock pot. And that way it'll be ready for dinner. And we're going to serve it with tortillas instead of like mashed potatoes, because we're doing, a little bit lower carb around here. So we are using low carb tortillas, and then we're also going to have provolone cheese with it. So kind of like a Philly cheesesteak wrap in a way, or Philly cheesesteak taco is kind of where our head is at. So that's what we're doing. So when you hop on, say, hey, let me know you're watching, and I'll tell you all about it. Hi, Aletta. Hello, Danae. Good morning. Hi, Michelle. Good morning, Lori. Good to see y'all today. Hi, Tammy. Good morning. Y'all, it is a windy day. I've got the windows open. It's 67 outside right now and windy. So if you see my hair blowing all over the place, it's because it's very windy outside. Hi, Pam. Hey, Jamie, which is really good because it's been a little warm in here. So we're hoping it's going to cool off in here today a little bit. And we're supposed to get some storms today. Hi, Christine. Good morning. Hey, Trisha. Supposed to get some storms and some really bad winds. So hopefully it won't be too big of a deal. Hey, Trish. Okay, so Mississippi pot roast. I'm sure you all have made this. It went viral several years back. Hi, Cindy. Oh, good, Cindy. I hope you love it. I hope you love it. We loved it. Andrew and I did, at least. Hi, Suzanne. Good morning. So I'm going to, whenever I do a roast, this is optional, but whenever I do a roast, I like to brown it in the skillet first before I put it into the crock pot. I do that with my vegetables as well that go in. You didn't like it, Kimberly? Well, we happen to love, especially me more so than Andrew, banana peppers, and Andrew really likes the pepperoncinis better than banana peppers, which basically they feel like they're the same thing to me, but thank you, Kimberly. Nancy says it's raining cats and dogs in Missouri. Well, I'm glad it's not raining here. So anyways, we love these things. Griffin even loves these things. And so I think we're going to like it because, like I said, when we do a Philly cheesesteak, we always do a lot of banana peppers on our Philly cheesesteak. And so this just feels very similar to me to that. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. So anyways, I like to brown my meat. So I've got a skillet over here. I'm going to turn my skillet on to medium high. I want it fairly high. And then I have some high heat oil. So I'm going to be using avocado oil for this because it doesn't smoke as bad as olive oil does. And I've got a sirloin here that we thawed out in the fridge. And this was a frozen sirloin, and it really needs to be eaten. And look how big it is. It's huge. So I'm going to dry this down. Let me grab some paper towels. I'm going to pat the top dry, and then I'm going to season it, and I'll put it in the pan and then dry the other side after I put it in the pan. I'm excited to try it. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I just keep it simple with salt and pepper. So we're just going to season this up. All right, and then pepper. Okay. So I'm going to wait on my pan to warm up. I've got my crock pot over here. It's already on. I have it on high. And so these are the ingredients that we need. We need a beef broth. I'm using beef bone broth for added protein. Trisha, no, this is not actually. And then I need a pack of ranch dip mix and a pack of au jus gravy mix. And then I'm using onions. The recipe does not call for onions, but I'm using onions because why wouldn't I, right? So we're going to add a bunch of onions to it. We're going to be doing a lot of pepperoncinis. Like I said, we like this a lot. So we're going to be doing a lot of these. Andrew goes, I hope 2 jars is enough. And the recipe only called for like ½ cup. So I'm just going to do them all. And we're just going to see what happens. We're just going to see what happens. Because like I said, we like those. And then, is that everything? I think that's everything. Okay. Really simple, right? Really simple. Okay. So this is feeling pretty warm. I'm going to add my avocado oil. I hope this sirloin will fit in this pan because this thing is huge. All right. Want my pan nice and hot so that we get a really good sear on our meat. And after our meat cooks, then we're going to do our onions. Oh no, Michelle, I'm so sorry. Are you able to fix it? Good morning on YouTube. Thanks for joining me today. All right, this is feeling pretty hot. Okay, let's get this bad boy in. I'll try and drain off some of the stuff from the back. It doesn't quite fit, but we're gonna make it work. All right, let me clear this away. Okay, now I'm gonna dry the other side. Got it dry. All right, and then we'll season the other side again. And pepper. Okay, there we go. All right. So we'll let that brown. I think I'm going to turn it up a little bit higher. I don't want it to cook or anything. I just want some color on the outside of it, okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and make the sauce. So you don't necessarily have to do it this way, but I sometimes like to do it like this. Whenever I make my hot roast, I will do it this way. So I'm just going to take my beef broth. Now, this recipe also called for ½ stick of butter. I'm not going to add the butter because I want to cut back on the calories a little bit. So I'm not going to add any butter. So this is beef bone broth. We're going to add ½ cup of this. And then I'm going to dump my ranch packet and the au jus gravy mix into the beef broth. You could just dump them all on top if you wanted to. Okay. Let me get a fork. All right, so we're just gonna mix this up. All right. Here we go. Okay, let's see how this is looking. Getting there. We're gonna give it a little bit more time. Y'all, that is one giant piece of sirloin right over here. Do y'all see that? That thing is huge. All right. So we got our sauce mixed up. I'm gonna cut up some onions. I've got this really big onion. And then I've got half of one left over from yesterday. So I'm just gonna add both of them, and I'm gonna slice these up, and then we'll add these to the pan after the meat is done. So this is the way the seasoning looks. It's not pretty or anything, but it's the beef broth, the ranch mixture, or the ranch dip mix, and the au jus mix. So very simple. Andrew called me and he goes, "Are you going to put onion in it?" And I was like, "Of course I'm going to put onions in it." Why would it not call for onions? I don't understand. All right, so we're just going to slice them just like a Philly cheesesteak. All right, I'm gonna flip my meat. Oh yeah, look at that golden brown color. Y'all see that? Let me show you. Look at that. That's what we want. Beautiful. And of course, that's optional, but all the pro chefs say to do it. So I figure, well, we're gonna do it. And they say that it locks in the flavor. That's why I do it. Okay. All right, we got our onions cut up. I'm gonna go throw all this away. Okay, we're almost ready to put this together. So like I said, I'm going overboard with the pepperoncinis. We happen to really love these. What is that? That's interesting. I've never seen that before. Like a little inside the jar. Maybe to keep them down or something. Anyways, what was I saying? We love pepperoncinis around here, so we're doing a lot of pepperoncinis. Okay? And I think that I'm only going to do the juice of one jar just so that we don't, so it's not, doesn't end up being too runny. So I'm gonna drain 1 jar. Okay. This is how my grandma taught my mom, who in turn taught me how to cook roast. Yes. Exactly, Kim. I agree. Hey, Denise. I hope you're doing well. I hope your surgery went well. Really, Michelle? Well, how about that? I didn't know that. That makes a lot of sense, though. Okay, let's check on our meat. See if it looks good. Okay, it's done. So I'm going to put it in my crock pot. I've already got my crock pot on, and it's on high. Oh, love the smell of steak. Okay. So now I'm going to add in my onions, and I'm going to let them brown a little bit. And I'm not cleaning the pan or anything. Right in the pan where the beef cooks. I really don't want this on. I probably just put an apron on. And I'm going to season my onions as well with some salt. I need to refill my salt. Okay. And we just want to let these, we don't really want these to cook. We really want color on them. Okay, like we want them to brown a little bit. So I've got the heat on high, and we just want to add a little bit of color to the onion. All right, I'm going to go ahead in the crock pot. We're going to add in the sauce. So again, what is going on here? Hang on, there we go. Good morning, Darlene. So we're going to do the beef stock. This is the beef bone broth mixed with a packet of ranch dip mix and a packet of au jus gravy mix. And so we're going to pour this in. Okay, and then on top, we're going to pour all of our pepperoncini. Like I said, you don't have to do this many. Okay, and then, so that jar I drained. This jar, I'm adding all of the juice. And all the peppers. And we're just adding them whole. Okay. Then we're going to add our onions on top, okay? Now, something that I like to do sometimes whenever I am browning is I like to go ahead and deglaze the pan so that I can, I don't know why I poured it in here, so that we can add in all of that flavor. So I'm going to take a little bit of beef broth, just a little. All right, you can see the onions aren't cooked, but they've got some color in them. And then I just use that broth to just get all of the bits off of the pan. We're going to dump this in. And that is it. So I'm going to let this cook. Anytime I do a roast, I always cook it on high all day long. And so that's what I'm doing. So this will cook until about 5 o'clock. It is 10 here, so it's not like I got it on super early. Sounds great, Karen. And it'll definitely be falling apart after it cooks that long. Roast is one of those things that you just cook the devil out of it. You know what I mean? You don't cook it based upon temperature, right? You cook it until it's falling apart. And so that's the way we're doing this. So like I said, let me show you how we're going to serve this. Okay, hang on just a second. All right, so the popular way, I think, is to serve this over mashed potatoes. But we're not going to do that. We are doing like tacos, okay? So we're going to serve this with our low-carb tortillas. These are 60 calories for one tortilla, and they have, what is the net carbs? 0 net carbs, okay? 0 net carbs. And then we're also going to use provolone cheese with it, okay? So we'll do a piece of provolone cheese and the meat and the peppers and the onions on a tortilla. So that's it's kind of Philly cheesesteak like. That's kind of the way I'm thinking of it. I might even make mine like a quesadilla. We'll see. So I may just put it all together, put cheese on the tortilla, put it inside the tortilla, and make it a quesadilla. I think that sounds delicious. I also might do spicy mustard. So I like spicy mustard on my Philly cheesesteaks. So I may even add spicy mustard inside these tortillas and possibly a little bit of mayo. So we'll see. We'll see. But anyways, that's how we're planning on serving it. So hopefully it is delicious. All right, y'all. So that's what we're cooking on Wednesday. I hope y'all enjoyed this one, and I will see you all.